So, I, for some reason, have a music career. Let's go over it. Starting over here, I've got the very first album I recorded. It's when I was part of a group called Authentic Technology. I came up with the name, I think. And it's this album looks old too, despite there not being a first one. A little bit of backstory for this. I was in 4th grade when I recorded this, and I was in a portable with a B on it, and that's why the record label's Portable B Records. And I was with a para-educator at the time, Clark Drees, or Mr. Drees as I called him back then. And he had a guitar, and in the portable was like a Yamaha kind of keyboard thing. And we just basically improvised, and this album was basically the result of it. Now, we did record stuff prior to this, but that's completely lost, and I cannot recover it. But this is the first full album we did, and for some reason we decided to split it in between 2 discs. I think this was recorded on like 1 or 2 days, or I don't know. That's pretty scratched. You've got disc 2, which has a track called Don't Forget This Is It, where I think like a random kid like played a trumpet on it. And we've got all 3 of the Duck songs on here, because apparently I like the Duck song. And just for posterity purposes, here is a single disc version of This Album Looks Old Too. Not redundant at all. Next album, The Beginning of the End. More of the same, basically. Even though this is kind of a concept, but not really. The concept is like really hard to follow on this album, because I'm just saying random stuff, and there's samples of Daft Punk and stuff on here. And that is a very poorly drawn deadmau5. There he is. That looks terrible. 10-year-old me. Then I thought the time had come for a compilation album. The collection of Authentic Technology Greatest Hits. That title is kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, it's stuff from the first 2 albums, and there's like 12 cuts on here. I don't know how to think of it. I mean, so far this stuff it's okay. It's definitely the best of the early stuff. 3rd album is Dark Ages. I was messing around with Speakonia and stuff, so there's text-to-speech on here. And there's a track on here, Barrels of Dynamite, where there's like a story where there's like a group of text-to-speech voices that don't like Authentic Technology. And then by the end of the song, one of the guys is turned over and becomes a fan. And I think that fan is also at the outro of the album. And there's also kind of a concept in the album about like Dark Ages and stuff. And there is what I assume is Clifford the Big Red Dog, because on here is a skit called Dogfight, where Cleo and T-Bone are like fighting over stuff, and Clifford is just sleeping. I don't know, it was on this album and it was weird. Also on this album is a track where there's multiple instruments instead of just the keyboard and the guitar. There's also a drum and like a tambourine on there, because there was another person in that portable, and she did the tambourine on that one track. Next album, and the last of the Authentic Technologies, Multicolored Vibes, and there's 2 versions. Okay, so this album, it's the last thing we recorded under the Authentic Technology name before we broke up. I still see Mr. Drees occasionally, and I like talk to him, tell him how things have been and stuff. So this album has people in the background. There's a little bit of audience participation on this thing, and it's weird. Where I tell them, hey, clap, do applause, please. And then they applause, and then I say, hey, say what's up, and then they just do that, and it's on this album. I might actually release some of this early stuff and put it on my bandcamp. There's a turtle and a guy that's happy. And we made a deluxe version too, except the guy here is angry now. That's weird. There's 3 extra tracks on here that weren't on the original album, and I think those bonus tracks were recorded on the last day of school that I had. I don't know, but I think so. I can't really remember that much. After school and after we were long gone, like a month later, I drop another compilation album It's volume 2 of the collection of authentic technology. And there's an Audacity logo because this is when I discovered Audacity, and the intro and outro is like a sound collage thing I made in Audacity. And it's basically another compilation of tracks that we did. Okay. I gotta breathe deeply for this one because this next album I'm gonna look at is total fucking garbage. So, let's go over my failed career as a rapper. This is the only album I made under the Cole G name. It's Moving On With Life, and there's a poorly drawn middle finger. So, what this album is basically me freestyling over songs that I like. And it was recorded with a very shitty mic with the Windows Sound Recorder tool. And this stuff is really bad. Like the only song on here that isn't actually a well-known song on here is the Windows 95 song, which I've since released and put onto the updated edition of Rarities and Remixes. Everything else on here is Daft Punk instrumentals, and it's bad. It is bad. Oh yeah, I made a deluxe edition with 3 other tracks on it, and the last of those tracks is an interview where I just say stupid shit for 9 minutes while playing shit in iTunes. I'ma just throw that album to the side because it's terrible. Okay, with that out of the way, in late 2012, I started calling myself Catax, and I made music under that name, but the music was like bad, like loops and stuff in Audacity, but most of those are lost, and the tracks that I could find are on the updated Rarities and Remixes album. So, after I lost all that stuff, in 2013, I released my first official album under the Catax name, Catax. It's self-titled. Can you tell? Let's take a look at this one first. So, the first 3 or 4 tracks on this thing is basically just me banging on a desk and making it, like, have a rhythm. And I'm just saying stuff. But by the time we hit the 5th track, it's beats and stuff from this keyboard. It's a Casio keyboard. And I've actually recorded a track recently using this. It's on Almighty Cat Dad. And it's the track Back to Basics, where I go back and try and make a song like I used to. Anyway, back to the debut album. I've got some personal favorites on here, but they're not really favorites because this album also really isn't that good. I've got Mamacita, My Twisted NBC Fantasy, Hear the Bongos, This Is My Life, and let me see if I can get the disc art in here. Tree Records. I also made an edited version of this album, and can you tell? Same disc art though. And I kind of messed up a little bit because some of the tracks on here still have a little bit of cursing left in, and Mamacita has 7 seconds of the next track at the end of it. So that's interesting. Hopefully I'd improve by album number 2. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Line Plug. This is album number 2. It's got probably one of my most sampled works, the CZZ Worker, because I've used the main rhythm in that song thousands of times. But it's also got a lot of Dead Mouse ripoffs, namely This Drum is the Velt. That Was a Bad Selection is Bad Selection. Strobe Dance is kind of stroby. And there's the disc art. It's more of the same. And I've got a compilation album now, Catax's Favorites, from Catax to Line Plug. It's a compilation of tracks from the first 2 albums, with 2 tracks from the next album, Behind the Fuzz, on here. The first 2 tracks from that album, to be specific. And this is on Postal Records now. The last 2 were on Tree Records. Apparently I wanted to change labels. I don't know. Behind the Fuzz, album number 3. The cat face is really close now. This is more of the same part 2. See, there's protection, spelling, and power loss. That was on Cadex's favorites. And there's like a product number thing right there. And you've got I actually still kind of like that disc art. That's pretty cool. It's like I'm a terrorist or something. Clean version, again, same. Changed the disc art though, because apparently people don't want guns and stuff in my album art. Album number 4, MUMB, or Messed Up Music Box, which is basically what that stands for. Okay, that guy has a gun, and then that guy shoots him. This is a trope you'll be seeing a lot. Cadex's Originals includes additional artwork. Yeah, that is true. And there's kind of a track list on the back, but I can't see it. Oh, there's the disc. I hope this video doesn't get age restricted. I started experimenting a little more on this album. I've got a violin and like a toy, like Fisher-Price xylophone kind of deal. And it's weird. And there's also a rework of Mamacita on here. And there's Minecraft Abbey Road for some reason. And you've got this cover, which is just a bunch of song lyrics from songs that I like. And there's this. Nice Dick. I mean, oh wow, craftsmanship. This is kind of like Kanye West's Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album, but not as good. Artwork-wise. Album, with the exception of the xylophone and the violin, is more of the same. Part 3, with the exception of Kawajiya and You Are the Tempo to My Song, which are loop things that I sing over in Audacity. Alright, we've got some more compilations. The Cadex Collection, a compilation of tracks from the first 4 albums with a new version of Strobe Dance on it. 17 remastered tracks. They're not actually remastered, I just lifted them off their original album. Kills Rock and Roll, La Resistance, plus new Strobe Dance. Okay, that is actually true. And we've got 2 booklets in here because I'm a masochist apparently. Front, back. Sugar Makes You High. I'm not sure about that. Pac-Man, Japanese text. That guy looks like he's seen something. Make one move and you're dead. No. Here's the other booklet. Got copyright information, tree and postal, probably because of the first 2 albums. And you've got track listing and poorly drawn album art for each track. So yeah, that's the Cadex Collection. It's not very interesting. Surprise! Another compilation album. Rarities, remixes, and remakes, even though there's actually no remakes on here. 2010 to present, or 2010 to 2013, actually. This is a compilation of odds and ends that weren't released on an album, and there's also some remixes on here. Even though 3 tracks on here would later appear on my very next album, namely Hit the Bagong, Enderman, Schmenderman, and Rijgau. And quick fact, My Guitar Goes Down When I'm Sad is actually the earliest recording of me singing an original piece. That was recorded in January of 2010. I think I was either 7 or 8 at the time of recording that. There's disc art. Hopefully you've got enough of that bong artwork. And you've got lyrics for each song. And also a transcription of My Guitar Goes Down, because that song is mainly gibberish. And you even got lyrics to Daft Punk's Get Lucky in here, which is interesting, I guess. And you've got a remix of Kawajiya. And you've got that live version of Strobe Dance from the Cadex Collection. So, the Daft Punk re-edit on here is basically just a slightly edited version of the album version and is not a remix. Most of this stuff on here, besides the mixed color tracks and the Daft Punk stuff, are on the newly re-released Rarities and Remixes 2010 to 2013 album. Album number 5, Mixed Color. Got a alien tentacle kind of guy, man. I don't know. Cadex Originals again. Don't know when I'm going to stop using that. This is basically more of the same again. Except there are a few Audacity experiments in here, like the aforementioned Hit the Bagong, Enderman, Schmenderman, and Reach Gao, and also Smells Like Spectacle Sound. Besides that, this album is pretty much the same as all my other stuff at the time. Play This by Catax. It is amazing. No, it's not. And like Catax Collection, we've got 2 booklets. Here's the art booklet. On back. Catax mixed color. There's a poorly drawn cat in the corner. And if I flip it, Music K8. 2013. Yeah. All of this stuff up until Never Say No to the Cat came out in 2013. I was very prolific. And here's a booklet. You've got track list and mixed color, but if you close it, it's actually forwards. So that's nice. Now let's take a look at a single for the motherfucking drum machine from Mixed Color. Compact disc maxi single. There's another poorly drawn cat. Warning, this EP is not suitable for airplay as it contains sexual content. No shit. Catax. It's got clean and explicit versions. No, this is a stereo version of the song where it just phases left and right because it's a mono mix. And the disc just says Catax in like a circular formation. That's not really anything special, honestly. This isn't very special either. Album number 6, The Axe Mint of Candy. 15 delicious tracks, over an hour of chocolate audio. It's not necessarily chocolate. That cat looks hungry. Catax Originals again. Don't know why I'm still doing that. It's, again, more of the same. I'm getting tired of saying that. But Try to Get Me Underbuddy is another Audacity experiment where I'm singing over Minecraft sounds. And I'm also messing around with text-to-speech on the interlude But Why. Don't you want to eat this right now? Don't. It's a plastic disc. Booklet. Track listing. Again. And, a cat and the name of the album again. I love this level of redundancy. Speaking of redundancy, here's an edited version. Same artwork, same everything, except it says clean on the disc. I'm not even going to bother showing the booklet. It's exactly the same as the explicit. Slightly more interesting, I guess. Album number 7, no title needed here. It's in a thicker jewel case for once. And there's a drawing of a cat again. I can actually show you the spine now. Memorize these track names. No thank you, Disc Kun, or Mr. Discman, whatever his name is. Track listing, Postal Records, Warm Records, 2013. More Audacity experiments on this thing with tracks like The Cat Machine, which is basically a Dead sample, like a beat sample put over Daft Punk's Get Lucky at a slightly faster speed. And there's Minecraft stuff in the outros for Need a Tip and Play All Day. Super Cat Brothers is basically a remix, kinda, but it contains the original song, so it's not really a remix. Family Computer Theme is a loop of the Famicom Disk System boot screen, and isn't that interesting? But there's like a Paul Stretch version of it in the background. Golf is a phased version of a Famicom title screen of a golf game. Again, nothing special, except it's got Play All Day on it, which is a single that I'll be looking at shortly. There's the disc. And there's me receiving a cat head during one of my shows. Go Catax! How about no? Because my music at this time was terrible. Booklet, again, it's like the anatomy of a cat, but it's poorly drawn. Sample credits, of course. Copyright. An alternate cover type thing. Yeah, this is a reference to Deadmau5's album title goes here. As is this. This is our test subject. Why is Nintendo rounding up cats to chop all their heads off to bring to me so I can wear them? Why is this at Nintendo? I don't know. Credits and track listing. Processor. Cat alert. There's Discman again. And there he is again. And there's the name of the album again. And there's a disc that's supposed to be Legend of Zelda. There's my fucking name again. And there's discs and stuff. And there's credits up there. And there's a Japanese flag. Wow. I guess you get to take a look at some more of my amazing art. Maxi single for Play All Day. What is this? Graphic design is my passion. So there's apparently creepers all around my head, but it's in black and white and you can't see it. Alright, I'm gonna try and name the Minecraft YouTubers on here. SGC Barbarian, I think. Zach Scott Games, man. Ant Venom and Sky Does Minecraft or Adam or Net Nobody or whatever he goes by now. Here's the back track listing and more graphic design. That's your face right now. On the subject of tracks here, the radio edit is self-explanatory. LP version is the version on the album without the Minecraft outro. And the Mega Fail remix is terrible and will not be discussed. Here's the inner sleeve. It's kind of like an LP's inner sleeve. Okay, fun fact, this originally had blue tape around it, but I recently replaced it with better tape because it was peeling and falling apart. There's like a Medusa head and my name, squares, and a yellow submarine. We've got a face that looks very menacing and text. This is just me, even though the words are spinning around drastically and moving for no reason at all. So this is super extremely weird. Enough said. Me? What sense does this make? Let me see if I can get the disc out. There it is. Look at all of that. Oh yeah, my favorite part. If you turn the disc around, it says, "Fuck you." That's a nice message for the kids. Moving on from that, we've got album number 8, Refurry, with a full color cover. But the art isn't good. Cat X Originals again. I don't know why I'm still doing that. And track listing. So this album, the intro is me talking to my dad about music while he's drunk. And track 2 is a stereo version of a track that came preloaded with Family Tracker. Creeper Jam is 5 minutes of looped creeper noises over and over and over again. It's terrible, which is why I shortened it for the remastered version. 8-Bit Voyage is something I did in Family Tracker, and everything else is Casio piano stuff. Maybe except the intro to I Was Bored as Hell, which is Family Tracker. And the intro to Forgive, which is zombie noises repeated over and over again. Guess you could say I had a fetish for looping things over and over again, huh? Here's the disc, which I don't think you can tell, but it is colored like the front cover is. Track listing again. And on the inside, we've got the weirdest release party ever. So there's a skeleton. That's supposed to be Eminem, apparently. A creeper, dead mouse, a zombie, Jughead from Le Archie, a man with wings for arms, and Rainbow Pony, Rainbow Dash. And there's me, there's Sonic, there's Kyle from Le South Park, and I think that's supposed to be the Grinch, but apparently it's not. That's what I was going for, though. Refurry release party, hooray. A release party for an album that really isn't that interesting besides the first 4 tracks. Another compilation, the best hits. Now, fun fact, the tape here was originally black, but like Play All Day, I replaced it recently, just so it's more stable. Track listing with a few errors that I've corrected. Okay, Parlophone, Worm, and Postal. Parlophone, where is that coming from? That is a real record label. I don't know why I decided to put that on there. There is disc 1, tracks from Cat X to Mixcolor. And we've got the booklet. Basically, what songs on what album for each disc. And here is the second case. Enter with Dare with a demonic cat face. That's acceptable. There's disc 2 with tracks from Mixed Color to the unreleased version of Never Say No to the Cat with Demon Face. And on the inside, you've got a bunch of text. Wow. Okay then. So, interesting things about this compilation. It's got 2 tracks on it that were supposed to be intended for the Never Say No to the Cat album, which I'm going to show in a bit. The Pie Will Be Pinky and the Minecraft medley. The Pie Will Be Pinky is actually a fully fledged song, and the Minecraft medley is 4 minutes shorter than the one that eventually appears on the album. Anyway, Pie Will Be Pinky later turned into a 30-40 second intro of me talking. It's probably for the better. That song wasn't that good. It is a mix of Casio with Family Tracker and samples from My Little Pony, because I liked that back then. I don't want to talk about that. The Modern Yellow Submarine soundtrack. It's a soundtrack to a film that doesn't exist. Includes an all-new composition made exclusively for the film, which is the only Cat-Axe song on here, and it's tested out. The Beatles, Cat-Axe, Bebop, Vox, and Deadmau5. That's interesting. Spine, back. You've got track listing. Now, interesting thing about this disc, nowhere on the track listing does it say Sgt. Pepper and With a Little Help from My Friends. They're on the disc, though. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Hey Bulldog is nowhere on the disc, but it is on the artwork. And there's the disc, which is like a sea of holes, apparently. The Modern Yellow Submarine, movie coming soon. No, it's not, because it doesn't exist. Let's take a look at all this artwork. You got the booklet, like the main booklet. Fold it out, you've got a nice picture, track listing. And inside, you've got artwork for each track. That's interesting. And we have another booklet with a diagram of a modern yellow submarine. Okay, why does it have wings? Why are you calling that random things? Modern travel, windows for look. Basically, it's a fucking mess. And here we've got like a little insert, alternate disc art, and the vinyl label. They're not actually contained in here. They're just on a piece of paper because I'm weird. Postal Merch presents music made by the world's most known electronic music producer, Who's a Cat. I'm pretty sure no one knows who I am. Originally released. Oh, it's basically predicting the whole remaster series. That's interesting. Album number 9, Never Say No to the Cat. And this is the deluxe poster edition. Warning. Censored. Poster signed by Cat-Axe. Yeah, that's a reverse signature. And there's a Daft Punk looking helmet thing. Spine. Other spine. Back. Got track listing. And okay, so basically the whole point of this artwork is that it's taken from magazines and stuff. Oh yeah, Parlophone is a record label now, and Worm Records. I've been on Worm Records since no title needed here. So the artwork here is taken from magazines, and it's weird. Here's disc 1, which is the main album. Nothing special there. Disc 2 is the Strike of the Cat's Axe EP, which is available on my Bandcamp page. Here it's just called Deluxe Bonus Disc Tracks. On the inside you've got a Ford Fiesta screaming death, apparently. Get me out of here, this album is terrible. You want to know why it's censored? There's a drawing of a bad dick with a boombox, I think, with angel wings. Cum does not come out of there. What? My brain hurts. And there's a Minecraft kind of thing. And on the back you've got a hand that says weirdo. And on the inside you've got the poster. WTF, WTF, WTF around the spine. And you've got some artwork. Walmart, Target, like a man pony hybrid with a satellite dish coming out his ass. My Little Pony. I don't want to talk about that. Mewtwo, I think. Deadmau5, Skrillex, FL Studio. Oh, that's kind of predicting the work I would do in FL Studio in 2015. A devil character, me, Daft Punk, naked chick that's censored for some reason, Elmo, South Park kids. Yeah, this is basically homage to Sgt. Pepper. And it's signed on the top right. Here's the booklet. This is a booklet that was included in like a magazine I took out of it. So The Pie Will Be Pinky is not the version from the best hits. It's a completely different track. It's an intro that's like 30-40 seconds. Minecraft medley here is extended by 4 minutes compared to the version on best hits. You Can't Run is a stereo version of C418's 11. This version of Steve's song is basically drenched in reverb to simulate stereo. This World Is Mine, Not Yours constantly changes tempo, and I'm like talking over it, but it is normal Casio stuff. Let It Be Cadax re-edit has additional vocals by me and an extended outro that kind of sounds like the outro to Day in the Life. And most of the rest of these tracks are, God, some of the worst stuff I've ever done. Like, it is normal Casio stuff, but I'm also playing a fucking trumpet on them, and it's not very good. And this applies to all 3 of these tracks. I mean, Come On is slightly interesting because I'm singing through a fan. There's a man holding a bright. These images are from Provocation. Check it out on YouTube. Oh yeah, this is a Calvin Klein thing I found in a magazine. I'm a Pair Of is more trumpet shit. I Can Be Mono for Once isn't even a track. It's more like a 6-minute interlude of me doing tapping noises and watching an episode of My Little Pony. It's weird. Say These Words is 11 minutes long and features like a little cover thing of Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite by the Beatles. And it's not interesting. Shout at Me is more trumpet garbage, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is a Cadax trip mix. I just loop stuff and pan channels and stuff, and there's an outro. And then you've got credits and a woman. So that's that. Not a very good album, honestly. Album number 10, Hand to Hand. I kind of have nothing to say about this one. It's more of the same Casio stuff, and that's about it. Even though the opening track is actually snippets from an episode of a series called Film Riot. And why in the hell did I put a winking face there? That is just cringy. And there's also a skit on here titled Cell Phone Hijack Earthquake. If you think about it, that makes no sense. Where earthquake happens after I'm done talking to someone on the phone. It's weird. Turn That Shit Up features me surfing through AM, FM stations and stuff. And that's about it for this. I have nothing else to say. There's the disc. That does not look like a chicken. That actually does look like a racist stereotype. I love Cadax. You shouldn't, because I'm terrible. Anyway, we've got a hell of a booklet to go through. 18 pages worth of garbage. Let's have a look. This album shows the artistic side of Cadax, or you can call him Cole if you want to. That's my actual name. By the way, this is me, Cadax. Oops. Again, this makes no sense. There's track listing, hand bones, rib cage, palm bone, skeleton hand. What is this, like, Pearl Jam bullshit? Tadpoles, embryos. Okay, so it's apparently, like, stuff that has to do with hands. And unrelated, for the Diamond Minecart, Dr. Treoris and Skelly Dr. T. Apparently I liked Minecraft a lot back in the day. Creeper says, if it's called Film Riot, why aren't there riots in their films? Perfectly justifiable thing. Deadmau5 rocks. Actually, he kind of does. That's just an opinion of mine. And here's a picture of, like, a simulation of a live performance. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Cadax's message to you. Just kidding, lol. No thank you. Hi there, I was just normal. What? Squid's Garden. The hoax is fake about Paul. Okay, then. And now we have alternate album covers for some reason. This one is parodying the Beatles' Revolver. And this one is parodying the Beatles' White Album. So that's interesting. And this is kind of like Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP 2. And then you've got credits and another cat person. And you've got the last page, which is just random text and a prototype of the Meatly before he was a thing. Actually, I think he probably was a thing in 2013. I don't know. I made album number 11 in 2 different forms. And it's called Smile for the Camera, if you couldn't clearly tell. The first version I made on physical media is the Super Ultra Mega Deluxe Edition. What kind of name is that? There's a parental advisory thing. I kind of tried to make it look like a book, but it didn't quite work. And there's a cat. Okay, so talking about this album, Such a Jerk is 12 minutes long, and I tried to do like a piece in like parts, like a Pink Floyd kind of thing. And there's even a cover, albeit a terrible one, of Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 in there. Slicing Some Dice is more FM, AM tuning stuff with, like, me fucking around with my voice at the end. This is Survival Mode, and Minecraft is more of the same with another cell phone type skit at the end. Reports of Murder is ridiculously distorted and weird. I Want You to Look at This is kinda more of the same, and it was recorded in 5 takes. Shock to a Kill skit is a skit. Think for Yourself, Cadax Re-Edit has a loop of the intro and a loop of the outro that gets higher and higher in pitch. Tiny Flower Petals is kind of like a Ween vocal type thing, and it ends with like another Pink Floyd tribute. And Random Song Title is just a compilation of odds and ends that I recorded around the time. And on CD2, you've got all 5 takes of I Want You to Look at This. That's kind of redundant. Meadowland. It's kind of similar to Pink Floyd's Grantchester Meadows because it's recorded outside and you hear some ambient stuff outside. Tree, Cadax Re-Edit. That's a re-edit of an old Authentic Technology track. There's disc 1 and disc 2. And a DVD. That's interesting. Not really. There's not really that much on here. Like, look at that. That does not look like a lot. Okay, excerpts from Cadax's remake of The Dark Side of the Moon, which is fucking awful. As is the remake of Bohemian Rhapsody. And there's a bonus track of the Massive Smile Project, which is a My Little Pony thing on here, just for shits and giggles. And you've got the video for that on the DVD. You've got a public domain cartoon and a thing called The Randomness Show, which is, again, more stuff I found on my computer. Go Animate Randomness is just that. It's basically random and weird Go Animate videos, mostly by Not Smirks, but there's one on there made by me, and it's not that good. It's called The Barn is Red, and it's, like I said, not very good. So that's that, and here's the standard CD that I made later. Again, Cadax Originals. This is actually, I think, the last CD I have that says that. I actually kind of like this cover art that I did for it. And on the back, you've got a whole bunch of art again. Inception of Faces. Tom from Tom and Jerry with, like, a ribbon coming out of his mouth. A guy with a 2. A Domo-looking boy. Flappy Bird, because that's relevant. Exterminate! I don't know why I put that there. Plasticine... okay, it's just nonsense. There's the disc. Cadax TV 2 and 1 coming soon. I don't have a TV station, that's fake. On the back you've got more random stuff. On the inside you've got more random stuff and the track listing. You can tell I slapped this together in like 10 minutes because of all the shit on it. Go to Postal Records' website for full album credits. If you go to that, it probably won't exist.
Oh, big shocker.
It doesn't exist. Now things start getting interesting with album number 12, The Aesthetic Journey. This was released 2 years after Smile for the Camera, so I took a little break and came out with this. Your aesthetic is rather pleasing. That's a Frank Javci quote. And you've got the parental advisory logo drawn on the jewel case and on the back. I wonder if anyone will ever see this text I wrote on the back of the CD case. Yeah, it's a possibility. This gives me a good opportunity to draw a dick or two. And there's the 2 dicks. Fuck you, Shrapnel. You're welcome. Fuck my life. And you've got Mega Stalin and Postal Records. It's just Postal Records now. And there's the disc with Undertale and memes and a lot of stuff. Now, oh boy, there's a lot of stuff in here. Let's go through it. This is basically just a one-sided thing of the album cover. I printed it out and it feels kind of rough, because that's what printer paper feels like. And you've got an alternate sleeve for like the album cover that I used before I actually printed it out. It's just more memes and bad drawings of Undyne. And here you've got a little mini poster. We've got a papyrus, underswap papyrus. You've got Adolf Wolf from that one cartoon. You've got Walrus from Vinesauce's Tamagotchi Life. Frank Javci, Good, Trans-Europe Express, Autobahn, Dark Side of the Moon. Complete artwork may or may not contain radioactive material. Well, there was a blue dick there, which kind of explains this. Fuck. And there's an Undyne, which, if I can show the full piece, is actually edited to make it look naked. You've got the Pink Floyd Pig Kraftwerk robot, and that's about it. And on the flip side, you've got an ad for the remastered collection. And here is the actual album booklet. Oh yeah, if you fold it out, it says CADX. Hashtag aesthetic, the journey. No suck. Again, memes. So inside, you've got track listing and when the track was recorded. And you've got credits down there. That's a lot of stuff in there. It's like 4 pieces of shit in one tiny, slim jewel case. Okay, so on the subject of actual tracks here, Spicy Electro Funk Thingy is one of the first things I did when I fucked around in FL Studio. And that track title in Japanese is Vaporwave stuff with a Japanese commercial. Beat Beat Motherfucker is a slowed down, corrupted Mario game. Having a Nightmare is an avant-garde sound piece, and it's pretty interesting to me. Whales dancing in a pothole while other things happen is another sound collage thing. Aesthetic is a little skit. That Windows thing is Vaporwave of the hidden Windows Welcome theme. High With You is a semi-cover of Frank Javci's I Want to Get High With You. Tracks 9 and 10 are sad John Cena MIDI versions, which basically converting audio files to MP3. The Bubblegum Bass remix is basically the synths are reversed and the drums are played forward. There's a remake of Mamacita on here that's pretty interesting. Future Funk Drunk Sands is a complete ripoff of a track by Frank Javci. That is a slowed down version of a track from Zero Wing, you know, All Your Bass Are Belong to Us. Another sad John Cena MIDI version of a track. 16 and 17 are Frank Javci, Toby Fox mashups. Stupid PCB is another Frank Javci ripoff. The Justice medleys are basically every track from Cross and Audio Video Disco mashed up. Kinda. Escape from Scarce's Lair comes from a soundtrack to a film that doesn't exist, and Only the Power of Aesthetics Can Save Us All is another sound collage, and that's all I gotta say for this album. It's interesting. It's time to take a left turn with the Enderman Schmenderman EP. Okay, so this is a little weird. It's a track from Mixcolor, and in 2014 I did a vocal version of it, and 3 versions of it are included here. And you've also got Tiny Flower Petals from Smile for the Camera and another track from Mixcolor. This is a very weird release. There's the disc. It's kind of like the motherfucking Drum Machine one, but with more text. So that's slightly interesting. So now we begin the character trilogy. I started in September of 2016 with album number 13, The Almighty Cat Dad. And if I zoom in, you can see a whole bunch of cats that people drew for me. This was back in the days when I was very, very into Drawpile. I discovered Undertale Drawpile sessions, and I met a whole bunch of friends. And it was pretty cool. It's your boy Cat Dad here to give you the dankest memes. Help me, Error Daddy. What the fuck is wrong with you? I agree. You want some memes? That's interesting. Okay, so this is another album where I experiment a little with FL Studio. You've got a cat there on the disc. There's your boy doing a dab. Here's a backstory. You can pause the video and read this because I don't want to read it. Okay, so the light intro is basically me sampling video from Nicholas Fedorov, who is no longer on YouTube. TOF beat is a beat I made from a Japanese CGI reel. Transmegalovania Express is a mashup of Kraftwerk's Trans Europe Express and Toby Fox's Megalovania. Bounce 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 is another Frank Javc ripoff with beats made from my voice and me beating things and make it sound like a beat. Dance Music is a Frank Javc ripoff again, and Undertale Medley is just that. Suck the Truck Cadax Remix is self-explanatory. I'm an Information Pilot is another Japanese CGI reel beat. Spake That True Hero is another Frank Javc, Toby Fox, Undertale mashup. And here's the credits. And you've got kind of a teaser for the next two projects. Oh, you've got a teaser for the next project, The Fallen Souls, in here. And if you can't tell, the ink in the printer was running low, but I kept it because I thought it looked cool. Welcome Cadax Remix is a remix of a Evil Beetle track that was posted on their Tumblr. Vapor Trap Cadax Remix is self-explanatory again. I Want to Get High With You, 8-Bit High With You is a mashup of those two tracks. Trippy is a sound collage that's kind of vaporwavy. That's pretty self-explanatory. Back to Basics, like I said a few minutes ago, is me going back to my roots and playing music on a Casio keyboard. Mashed Up is a mashup of a few tracks, and TUF Vapors is a vaporwave version of TUF Beat without the beat. And you've got credits on the back. So that is the first installment of the character trilogy. Album number 14, The Fallen Souls, the second in the trilogy. Blinded by Beauty. Back, he's being eaten alive by his sins. Internal suffering. Or is he just Psyduck and he can predict the future and stuff? And here's the disc. I was going for a darker atmosphere with this one. And there's the inside with Error trying to avoid water for some reason because he's a pussy. And on the inside, the Darkness intro is a dark intro. Electric Step is electric guitars with a beat. Set the World on Fire is like an ICP sample-based thing. No Hope for Us is me trying to be dark. How Much a Dollar Cost Cadax Remix is a pretty mediocre version of an amazing song. Too Dark to Even See is another trying too hard to be dark song with a little bit of Neon Cat in there for some reason, because I don't know. Calming Intermission is another Japanese CGI-based beat. Flashbacks Skit is a collage of the past 13 albums, just standout cuts from each 13 albums. Radio Star's Cadax version is a cover of a Kraftwerk track, and it's pretty okay, honestly. Kraftwerk's Uranium. That is a song from a different album put on here for some reason. I don't know why. Well, I did remix it a little, so it's not completely plagiarism, but it still is plagiarism. Mashup of Interesting Proportions is another mashup, and The Meaning is a weird outro track. And you've got credits, and then you've got kind of a teaser for the third album in the trilogy. For full album credits, go to cadax.bandcamp.com. Okay, so the deal is here, after like 3 minutes of silence on the last track, there's like a little game of like, hey, guess the phone number so you can hear the name of the next album, but oh no, you're gonna have to guess the phone number when answering all of these questions for some reason. And they're all math questions, and the number's been out of service for like 2 years now, so don't even bother trying it. Album number 15, The Pagemaster, the final in the trilogy, and my personal favorite of the 3. I've got it saved, don't worry. Also, can I just say that this album cover is amazing? I've got it as the wallpaper of my computer. Take your damn art, you damn egotistical maniac. And there's the disc. There's me standing at my post, preserving art. And there's a recreation of what me and my draw pile friends did in Minecraft. And then you've got track listing again. It's more of the same. It's just vaporwave stuff, well, like only 1 or 2 vaporwave things. Slightly funky intro is slightly funky, I guess. You've got a beat on here that's made up of Indian, like, movie samples, and there's like a kick drum from a Beatles song in there. It's kind of justice-y, and it's probably my personal favorite song I've ever made. You've got my version of Once Upon a Time, a remix of Pop Song by Frank Javc, TUF Borks, a Bork remix of TUF Beat, Take On Number 1, which is on my YouTube channel, you've probably seen it, Death Grips and Deadmau5 mashup. You're gonna have a repost time, which is also on my YouTube channel, but in a shorter version. A beat that bangs a little too hard is me trying to be Death Grips. Beautiful image to MIDI conversion is just that. That's a skit. Saint Pepsi ripoff is obvious. That's another mashup. That's a Bork remix of my remix. Sailor's Hornpipe outro with a little hidden track at the end. That's like slowed down version of a thing mashup I did. And you've got some bonus tracks. And it says, the trilogy is finally complete. That's nice. I mean, this is my favorite of the 3, but I just kind of don't have much to say about it, but I like it. And here's another left field thing, text to MIDI nightmares. Save me, Jesus. This is me typing titles into a program and it comes out as MIDIs. Dear God, what have I gotten myself into? And there's the disc. I never drew good like that again. And you've got a track listing, and you've got kind of credits, and that's about it. Nothing much to say about this. This is album number 16, Fade Away. Nice cover art, me. Again, graphic design is my passion. Here's the disc. What the fuck are you? Error says to a stick man. Track listing. Now, there's lots of home movie clips on here, mostly on the skits. The Puppet Show, Drawing, Bike Race, and Kittens are all home movies. The hip-hop Believe It sorta stuff, Extra Radioactive mix is me sampling Kraftwerk again to make a remix of Frank Javc track. That 420 track is a mashup of the Macintosh Plus song and Death Grips' Spikes. Lo-Fi Chatran is a song from the Japanese Adventures of Milo and Otis soundtrack made into a lo-fi hip-hop beat. Technological Battleground is noise music, pretty much. Mashed Up 2 is a mashup. I Ain't Gonna Hit Those Notes is on my YouTube page. Chatran Wave is Chatran Vaporwave. And Fade Away is a, if you put all the parts together, 12-minute long track that actually isn't that bad, even though it's got a few samples here and there. You've got credits and a thank you. So yeah, not bad. In fact, I'd say this album is pretty decent. We're not done with compilations yet. Best Hits Volume 2 with parental advisory notice written on the jewel case. And on the back it says number 2 hits. I don't know what that's all about. And on the disc, you've got Hand to Hand up until Fade Away. On the inside, you've got track navigation. There's also exclusive stuff here, like an edited version of Having a Nightmare, an edited version of Transmegalovania Express, and an edited version of the Fade Away track which is just parts 1, 3, and 4. And that makes it roughly 8 minutes instead of 12. Album 17, Fade Away Part 2, alternate title, more apparent. And there's the first appearance of an image that I would use constantly to promote my stuff. Disc. You've got a little cat there on the booklet. Intro is a recording that I made of like cars going by, and this was during winter time. And there's also a little thing in there of me singing in like 2nd or 3rd grade for like a musical. And Premonition Remix is one of the better things I've done. Windows ME, that's a vaporwave version of the Windows ME welcome video. Super Trip is another vaporwavy type thing. Another Nightmare is another sound collage type thing. TV Interlude is an interlude of random clips. Attention for Money. Okay, the rest of these are mashups. That's literally it. And another thank you. Yeah, not bad either. Now we've got an EP on our hands. A Nation Ruled by Television. And here you've got a TV, and it's got a bunch of things I like in there. JoJo, My Hero Academia. You got some Vine Sauce memes, YouTube poop memes, Gorillas, Brody Quest. That's awesome. There's the disc. This thing is entirely made up of mashups. And on the inside, you've got credits and another thank you and a little notice. And there's also track transitions that sound like you're switching TV channels. Touchtone Peace Sign, another mashup project. This time it's a mashup of the My Hero Academia opening peace sign with Lemon Demon's Touchtone Telephone. And there's the disc. I also kind of like this cover art. It's a mix between the Spirit Phone cover and the peace sign single cover. Another mashup project. Again, I'm starting to get really prolific in 2017. Heroes in a Bottomless Pit with Bakugo behind the balloons from the Bottomless Pit cover. And there's the disc with an awful recreation of the cover. Wow, nice message! And then you've got track listing and credits and stuff. Here's the inside. And I think that says die in Japanese, you know, shine, because Bakugo says that. I can't get it in. That's what he said. Another mashup thing. 3005 Utaiba with screenshots from episodes of My Hero Academia in the background. And you've got Kachan Kaminari and a split between Deku and Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. This is a mix of the My Hero opening, Sora ni Utaiba, and Childish Gambino's 3005. And there's the disc. Here is the rearranged version of Fade Away. This takes a few tracks from Fade Away Part 1 and some stuff from Fade Away Part 2 and puts them together in one project. So this is basically the ultimate version without all the mashups and stuff. It's essentially the same layout as Part 2's artwork. You've got a lot of tracks here. You got credits and a little teaser for the next album, One for the Money, Two for the Money, at the end, featuring a little character that I created. And lastly, Text to MIDI Nightmares extended and remastered. It's basically got the same artwork as the original, but slightly better. It's even's got the same text there, and it's pretty much the same disc art, but without all the text, except for the copyright. And same track listing, except it's extended and remastered. So, those were all the CDs. Now we move on to paper stuff. Yes, this is weird. This is like a mini LP version of the debut album. This is just a place to put your explicit CD of Cadax. This contains a gatefold with a 12-page book filled with artwork you've never seen before. Enjoy. See gatefold for track listing. Okay, there's like a little story and then like credits. How Cadax is made. A spiral kind of thing. Oh, wow. Me trying to be edgy. Cadax. Poorly drawn. Cats just want to have fun. hi, and that text around says Cat Axe is cool. Random handshake with a poorly drawn hand, and fireworks go boom in the sky, Microsoft Sam. That's a quote I created. And it says end, head over hand, hand over head. Wonderful. And on the very end, you've got the track listing. Now we have a kind of LP sleeve for a proposed reissue of Refurry that is not coming out anytime soon. Second disc with bonus material. I don't think any bonus material survives from the Refurry period, and I don't think I can make a stereo remix of this because it would sound terrible. And here is the original art booklet for the Fallen Souls before I actually printed out the official cover art. So you've got like Omega Flowey and the Souls. You've got Young Venus on the back. What have I created? That's a poorly drawn cat. Border between memes and skeletons. Yeah, it's definitely that. Oh yeah, and I tried to pull this apart and it just didn't work, so yeah. Okay, it's got the track listing, some credits, and you've got error ribs, because error ribs. To be perfectly honest, I was too lazy to put credits here, so have more art. The Glycerin, that's another Nicholas Fedorov reference. And lastly, I have this. It's the Almighty Cat Dad / the Fallen Souls excerpts. So it's bits and pieces from the first 2 albums in the Character trilogy. This is a 10-inch vinyl record, and this was made by Vinylify. It's like a website, and you give it your music, and they put it on vinyl, and it's pretty nice. Here's the back. You've got the track listing, and it kind of teases towards the Page Master a little bit, because there's a track on here from it, In the Name of Justice. You've got the Page Master back. You've got credits down there. There's the record label. You've got track listing on the front and back for both sides. And yeah, this is a vinyl record. It's a lathe cut vinyl record, and it doesn't sound that good, but it's still nice to have. Hi, I'm recording this 4 months after I recorded the original video, so I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt the original video at this point with some new stuff that I've created. Starting with this, the tape jams. I did this in November when I got a boombox from my uncle. It's actually a cassette deck, and I actually recorded some stuff onto it. And this is the result, basically. You've got the disc, which is a drawing of a cassette. You've got the track list. This is actually the front and back of the cassette cover. You have the track listing again. You've got credits. You've got credits again. And you've got a cat. Speaking of cassettes, here is the original tape that I recorded it onto. Side 1. And it says no side 2, but I actually recorded some stuff on here from when the power went out at my house. And I basically like talked over it and stuff. Yep, there's the track list again. It's just an EP with 7 tracks on it. It's nothing very interesting. It's kind of going back to my roots of the Casio tone stuff. Just me blaring away on a piano. And there's also this, which I did sometime after. It is a poster of most of the cats that people have drawn for me. I'm just gonna browse through this. That, like I said before, is my background, my computer background. So that's a lot of cats. And that's all that is in there. Another update. And also a new recording device. I am recording this on an iPhone instead of a crappy JVC camcorder I've had since 2011. Anyway, yes, we're updating this again. This is the second time I'm interrupting this video. And it's all to show you this. Character. This is a reassembled version of the Character trilogy with all the original tracks and the remixes. No mashups this time. Got the disc there. And the same poster that I showed in the previous update. So we'll move that to the side. And on the back there, you've got a little meme. Copyright. Credits on the inside, which are actually typed out. Actually, it's just a track list. Full album credits go to catx.bandcamp.com. Yeah, pretty explanatory because I've typed that in other booklets as well. Anyway, back to you, 8 months ago me. So, yeah, after an hour or so of recording, I'm finally done discussing my music career. Thanks for watching, I guess. Alright, see ya.